Come on now. Yeah, his brain is no good. He dropped out. Now it's a little tough to keep posting his highlights like this. I would play Ray. Jason Ween is cringe as shut up. You're cringe as Does anything make Hasan feel better than Chatters glazing his balling? No. Kamala Harris has hit $100 million in fundraising. No, it didn't, I don't think. Did it? Act Blue has now collected $83 million since Biden's endorsement of Harris. It's going to easily exceed $100 million before the 24 hours have passed. This absolutely blows away Trump's $52 million haul following his conviction, and Kamala didn't even have to commit a crime. $90 million with just 2 hours to go. That's crazy, dude. I don't think they're going to be able to go across the 100 million. And this is Act Blue. So, for the record, this is Act Blue, as in this is coming from like individual donors. It's not coming from PACs, okay? This isn't PAC money. This is just like small donors, like donors that can basically max out at, what is it, like 2,500? I forget. I haven't maxed out in a while since Bernie isn't running. What's the actual, did I blast off yet? Oh, I didn't even blast off yet. What am I doing? Okay, I'm covering the news without even blasting off. Here, let's do it. Yeah, 2,400 I think is the most that like a single person can give. And big donors are going to pledge hundreds of millions more, obviously. Anyway, Joe Brandon drops out, endorses Kamala Harris. My uncle texted me this morning thinking that apparently people think that I'm like super pro Kamala or something, because he thought that as well. He was like, word on the street is you're super pro Kamala. I was like, oh, but it's cool. No, not Uncle Sam Cedar, Uncle Jank. Anyway, Joe Brandon drops out, endorses Kamala Harris. Hogwatch. Trump and Republicans cry about switcheroo. Kamala raises almost 100 mil in 24 hours since announcement. VP tier list and more. Do we have a get in now? Do we have a blast off meme? We do. We do have a blast off meme. Okay, let's go. Don't cry because it's Jover. Smile because it jappened. That's an insane. Okay, we'll do that. How much did Joe raise? This is like a historic amount from small donors. Like, for the record, this is a historic amount from small donors. I don't think it's ever, I can't think of any moment where I've seen this happening. Today we are going to be talking about Kamala Harris's weaknesses and whatnot, obviously. Cool map of donations. Act Blue just sent out a heat map of where small dollar donations are coming from. Folks, we see you. We see you in November. Looking at you, PA, Florida, Ohio, Texas. And PAC money is going to come too, by the way. Another fun fact. This will be the first presidential election since 1976 to not have a Biden, Bush, or Clinton on the ticket. Seems great. Kamala Harris has reportedly declined to preside over the Senate for Benjamin Netanyahu's address to Congress this week. Now, the Republicans technically invited him. But having said that, this could be partisan, or this could be another indication of where she's going. I'm not saying I need to see more. I need to see a lot more from Kamala on the issue of Israel. Okay. But I think this is good. This is ultra instinct. Okay. Do we have a Themasius playlist, by the way? Or did I forget it? He nutted too hard and he does have a playlist. Okay. Themasius, thank you for the playlist. He's just been so stoked. He's been so coconut pilled. It's not Jover, it's commencing. The Kamala meme is so cringe. Stop it. Every meme about Kamala Harris is cringe. That's why I'm leaning into it. Israeli reporter says her not being there was the plan since before Joe stepped down. Yeah, they were angling her as like a counter to Joe Biden beforehand already. And I don't know if that was like motivated by Kamala's own personal opinion on the matter, or if it was specifically done to be like, hey, we're doing both. Like maybe Kamala can captivate and capture the youth vote by looking like a counter to Biden's like unconditional dick riding of Israel. You know what I mean? Hasan, do you ever get laid after girls listen to you speak? What do you think? Thank you for the question. Anyway, Joe new Veep meme. Oh my God. Wait, what?
Veep! By the way, she left as president. Veep! By the way, she left as president.
What did Joe know? What did Joe know? He said, by the way, she left as president. Also, that's kind of shocking. It's kind of shocking that Joe Biden knows the Veep memes, like he watched Veep and retained that information. Man, it's making me feel like people aren't lying when they say sometimes he's just on it. You know what I mean? Hasan, here's the VP tier list. Click it now. I'm at work. Okay. Thank you for the tier list, chatter. Veep is a phenomenal show by Armando Iannucci, one of my favorite like political satirists. It's great. It's really funny. I highly recommend his entire body of work. But Veep is great. Death of Stalin is another one. That's kind of funny, kind of cool. But yeah, let's get started. Biden is dropping out of the presidential race and endorsing Harris in a historic decision. What does this mean? What is going on? What is happening in the world? Wait, hold on. Where is my tweet? Oh, here it is. Let's blast off one more time. I already blasted off, but let me spam it one more time. Engage with this tweet. Let the people know we are live. Let the people know we are alive. Okay. He got nothing on the GOAT Sorkin. Yeah. Okay. Gonna cover Kimberly Cheadle testifying on Capitol Hill. I don't think that's all that significant. Like the Secret Service. I think the Secret Service ups from the Trump assassination attempt is not like that important. I mean, it's like almost drama content in comparison to like the far more consequential political news that is happening currently in terms of, you know, Joe Biden, the current sitting president, dropping out of the re-election campaign and endorsing Harris in this historic decision. Aaron Sorkin, I think Aaron Sorkin dropped the dumbest op-ed of all time and then turned around and then deleted it. I think he retracted his op-ed, if I'm not mistaken. Classic Sorkin, man. Mike Johnson crying about it. I know we're going to get to the Republicans crying about it. It's pretty funny. I'm going to pee real quick, but let's get started.
And that, of course, is where we're going to begin this morning with that truly world-changing news, you can call it. This story is covering the front pages around the globe. President Joe Biden's decision not to run for re-election. Now, this surprise announcement yesterday marks an historic, unprecedented, and possibly undemocratic moment in American politics. With the election, just think about this, 105 days away from today. In a statement, President Biden said his decision was in the best interest of the Democrats and the country, and he vowed to finish his term in office, the beginning of the end of a political career that has spanned more than 50 years.
A half-century. Now the eyes of the nation fall on Vice President Kamala Harris, who President Biden has formally endorsed as his successor. If the Democratic Party agrees, she will become the first woman of color to be nominated for the country's highest office. We've got our whole political team out here covering this, correspondents, analysts as well, to talk about how we got to this moment and what happens next. We'll also have reaction from the Republican side of the aisle, including a conversation with former President Trump. Let's start with Ed O'Keefe, who's in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, where President Biden still isolating with COVID. Ed, it's been a remarkable 10 days that changed American politics. You've been there every day of it. Good morning once again.
Good morning, Tony. The president's doctor says his condition has dramatically improved over the weekend as he continues recovering from COVID-19. He made this momentous decision Saturday night here at his home in Rehoboth Beach with just the First Lady and 4 trusted aides by his side. He called the vice president Sunday morning to tell her, and then just a handful of staff before the rest of us found out the big news Sunday afternoon.
That was crazy.
In his message explaining,
I guess he just didn't trust. I guess he didn't trust his. Great news. Manchin says he wouldn't serve as Harris's VP. Bro, who asked? Joe Manchin, shut your ass up. Ain't nobody cares about this dumb bro. He's just personally, he's got like 2 dumbass donors and like Matty Iglesias on his side. And he thinks that there's motion here. Okay? There is no motion. Joe Manchin, you have no motion. Joe Manchin, a competent administration will be coming after you and your family members for inappropriate dealings and conflicts of interest a mile long. You're irrelevant. You dropped out of the Democratic Party. Fuck you. He's such an annoying little loser. I can't stand this, bro. I swear. Oh, I won't be vice president for Kamala Harris. It's like, nobody wants you to be Kamala Harris's VP, man. Who the asked? Who the absolute asked you, Joe? Ain't nobody asked for this. Yeah, Joe Manchin has that chaotic, like, how do I make this about myself energy, which is pretty funny. He's just like, wow, historic events are happening. How do I put myself on the front lines of this conversation?
His decision, President Biden wrote, "It's in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." Just minutes later, the president used social media again to endorse Vice President Harris, urging Democrats to come together and beat Donald Trump. With that, Harris officially entered the race, saying she's honored to have the president's endorsement and that she plans to earn and win this nomination. Within hours, most other party leaders, including Bill and Hillary Clinton, potential running mates, or those who might have been potential challengers, backed her bid, a sign she could quickly earn it in the coming days.
She's been a key part of the successes at home and abroad of the Biden-Harris legacy, and I think she is best positioned to carry it forward.
But some big names held back, including former President Barack Obama, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. The unprecedented campaign shakeup comes more than 3 weeks after Biden's debate against former President Donald Trump.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
The 81-year-old's performance raised doubts about his mental fitness and led to mounting pressure to step aside from Democratic allies. Biden was defiant against those calls for weeks.
Come on, guys. It's a little disrespectful. It's a little disrespectful to keep pointing to this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we know he up. All right. We know. Come on now. Yeah. His brain is no good. He dropped out. Now it's a little tough to keep posting his highlights like this. The debate was the best thing that happened to the Democratic Party. I mean, I agree. It's their incompetence. It's the Biden re-election campaign's incompetence that actually gave us this opportunity.
I'm running and we're going to win.
Before conferring with a tight group of advisors and family members and deciding late Saturday to end the campaign.
With Joe Biden as the heart and soul of our party and Kamala Harris coming out swinging against this ticket, we've got the recipe for victory.
As for Republicans, House Speaker Mike Johnson continued to test a line of attack against the Democrats on Sunday morning.
It would be wrong and I think unlawful in accordance to some of these states' rules for a handful of people to go in a back room and...
Really? Would it be? Is that how that works? Does Mike Johnson care about the Democratic primary and the Democratic Party's wishes? That's so funny. This is just tears, okay? This is just tears. You're literally a crystal fascist. Shut the fuck up. You don't give a fuck democracy. And also, hilarious that you're over here being like, oh, well, you know, this is, I'm quite concerned. I'm quite concerned about what this says about the Democratic process in the Democratic Party's primaries. Brother, who are you talking to? Who are you trying to reach? Are you trying to reach the Biden or busters? They do not exist. People that went into the Democratic Party's primaries and voted for Joe Biden are the most deep blue loyalists you've ever seen. Not a single one of those votes will not be cast for whoever the is on the ticket. Okay? This is not like Bernie Sanders. Even with Bernie Sanders, there wasn't a significant percentage of Bernie voters who busted and refused to vote for Hillary Clinton, even though the media constantly framed it as such. But these guys are not even going to be that percentage, okay? I do not know a single, and I do not believe, by the way, even if there was like one guy on Twitter or something, I just don't believe, and you will never get me to believe, that there is a significant percentage of Biden or busters. There's a significant percentage of Biden or busters out there that are like, oh, Kamala Harris? Fuck no, I'm not voting. Okay? Wait, are you pro-Harris? Is she the best choice for you? No, of course she's not the best choice for me. But I wear multiple different hats. Sometimes I wear a Trump hat. Sometimes I wear a Democratic Party analyst hat. Sometimes I wear an elections analyst hat. Okay. A lot of times when I talk about like how a candidate is viewed by the broader electorate, like with Joe Biden, I made it known that my own personal opinion was irrelevant in terms of Joe Biden's reelection chances, because my own personal choice in the matter was that I was not going to vote for Joe Biden, right? And I said it pretty publicly. It is something that I've never said before in any of the elections that I've covered since 2016. I've never been like, I'm not voting, 100% I'm not voting 10 toes down for whoever the Democratic candidate is. And Joe Biden was the first time that I ever said that. Now, even then, when I talked about Joe Biden having to be swapped out, it wasn't just for my own personal hatred for Joe Biden's policies on Gaza. It also was a broader analysis on the way that like the public, the voting public, the voter eligible public viewed him. Do you see what I'm saying? Not a single issue voter. No, that's not the reason. You can try, but there are plenty of people who, most people are single issue voters if they're not just ideologically aligned with the party. Okay. 80% of the American voting public votes on party lines. They don't vote on ideology. 20% vote on ideology. And that 20% are actually the single issue voters that you're talking about. There is no one that is making like comprehensive analysis in terms of who they're voting for. Okay. But if you were to say like, for me, it was just genocide, it's an ironic thing to point to. Like, oh, wow, I can't believe this guy has a really angry opinion on the American participation in the ethnic cleansing of an entire population. Like, yeah, no, that's a perfectly valid thing to be a single issue voter on. I myself, however, had definitely broader analysis and more reasons than just that. His mental deterioration played a big role in it. Obviously, you are so obsessed with Gaza. I hate when people say this. Like, you're so annoying. And if you're trying to do a 3-minute ad break debate right now at 11:50 by saying you're so obsessed with Gaza, I'm going to put you on a rocket ship. I'm going to put you on a rocket ship anyway. Here, take a week off. I hate that. Anyway, let's keep talking about the issue at hand. So when I give you guys broad analysis, broader coverage of like what the American voters are looking at, what the American voters are seeing, I'm thinking about it from the framework of like what they care about, what they vote on. That's why I constantly talk about like in terms of NATO, obviously I have my own personal convictions on NATO. Okay. But that's not what I'm talking about when I talk about NATO in terms of this election. When I talk about NATO, what do I always say? Americans in swing states or Americans across the board outside of the DMV do not give a about NATO expansion. Okay. Like Americans are not like, thank God, man. Thank God Biden brought in Finland and Sweden into NATO. You will not find like one person. You will not find one person in the real world that's like, nah, I'm actually voting for Biden because I was thinking about voting for Biden because he put Finland and Sweden into NATO. It's like, what are you saying? That's just the Reddit vote. It is not even marginal. It's not real. It's not a real movement, right? Anyway, so in terms of my analysis, like I separate my own personal opinions when I'm talking about elections. When I'm talking about elections such as this one especially, right? My own personal convictions, I will always tell you what they are, right? But when I'm talking about like what plays well, sometimes that is at odds with what I personally believe, right? When I talk about immigration, however, my own personal convictions actually do align with what my expectation is from the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party leaning to the reactionary sentiment that is purely built on hysteria in terms of like migrant crime, that is actually a failing method. That is actually a losing narrative. Pretending to be concerned for Democrats who supported Biden is just disgusting. Yeah, that's really funny. I love that though, because that narrative would work if there was like some ideological fissure between Joe Biden and the rest of the Democratic Party. But Joe Biden historically is a center-right Democrat. So there is no ideological division between Joe Biden and whoever is going to be at the top of that ticket. Do you understand what I mean? So obviously, this narrative doesn't work. It's a failed narrative. They should throw this aside immediately. Okay. I mean, I'm happy with them not casting it aside and continuing to like hammer this narrative and be like, the wishes of the Democratic primary voters are not being reflected. It's like, it's very stupid. Okay. It's a very dumb narrative. And today we're going to be focusing on a lot of dumb narratives coming from the Republican Party that are currently flailing. They're flailing. They're desperate. They have no idea what to do. They haven't been able to figure out like a coherent way to attack Kamala Harris. And it's kind of shocking that they didn't even like think about how they would attack Kamala Harris if that moment came, especially considering the reality that, and I've repeated this over and over again, since 2019, it was obviously known that Kamala Harris, there's a pretty big likelihood, unlike any other vice president, that she might become the president, even in the first term or potentially during the re-election campaign because of Joe Biden's age, right? So how did they not actually present a decent line of attack against her this entire time? Anyway, that's awesome. Like, it's awesome that they have nothing. But let's continue.
Switch it out because they don't like the candidate any longer.
Last night, he called on Biden to resign immediately because...
By the way, that's precisely how this works. Like, the notion that, like, oh, you don't get to switch it out because you don't like the candidate. Like, no, that's exactly how that works, actually. Like, that is what a competent party would do. And you're just mad that the Democrats, for once in their goddamn lives, were able to do something that a competent party would do. They're like in awe. They're shocked. They're shocked. They're like, how could they have done this to us? How about you worry about running a good campaign? How about you worry about trying to get Trump in office? The f you mean? Oh, the Democratic primaries, the wishes of the Democratic Party primary voters is not being reflected. It's like, no, I think they're fine. I think they're happy with it. What is this?
It is the weirdest thing to me. Democrats say that it is to believe. Well, they say it's to do anything. I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday.
This is a really bad narrative. This sucks. This is so 2016 coded. Yeah, good luck, dude. Good luck, guys. Hey, good luck. Joe Biden was president for the past 4 years. I don't know if you know that. He is literally Joe Biden, who was the Barack Obama administration's hand-selected candidate for vice presidency, was hand-selected because he had a track record of being kind of and routinely making off-color remarks, okay? Good luck, though.
Yesterday and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that review, but
I'm going to tell you something, okay? If drinking Diet Mountain Dew is, I'm a Klans member, okay? Ain't nobody's out here saying drinking Diet Mountain Dew is like, the f you mean? What a dumb argument. Oh, you can't whip up this kind of narrative, dude. You can't do that. You can't do that.
it's good. I love you guys.
Oh, no aura, no aura, zero aura, minus 1,000 aura points. This is worse than Kamala Harris. This reads worse than Kamala Harris. I'll say it. Fuck it. 100%. It's cringe. Some reports that they're regretting picking Vance. Oh, you think? I mean, yeah, duh. This is JD Vance's basket of deplorables moment. Mark my words. Dude, I'm invested in Bashar. I think Bashar al-Assad, the Lion of Kentucky, okay? He would be a phenomenal VP pick. That's my top pick, even more than Pritzker, even though I do like Pritzker.
Because if Joe Biden isn't fit to run for president, he's not fit to serve as president. And Trump agreed, saying Biden wasn't fit to serve from the very beginning.
Kamala was in on it.
His campaign already treating Harris like the person to beat, attacking her in a new ad.
Kamala owns this failed record.
So as you can see, the campaign is underway already, but the president has...
Dude, Andy Bashar, you're like, oh, don't take him away from Kentucky. Brother, Kentucky has one of the deepest, most reddest state legislatures in the country. What are you talking about? He is phenomenal at, exercising his veto power, but he has a veto-proof supermajority of some of the biggest freaks you've ever seen, okay? So, like, technically, he's kind of being wasted. in Kentucky. And yeah, his lieutenant governor can take over. Not sure he would be as charismatic. Bro, he's so goddamn white. I mean, chat, give me the photo. Give me the family photo. Send me the goddamn family photo, please. Bashar clip from this morning on Morning Joe. No, I don't want to just show you. I don't want to just show you something about, like, you know, this person is young, he's vibrant, he's dynamic, and most importantly, he has my favorite. He has my favorite quality in red state Democrats, which is that not this. He has my favorite quality in red state Democrats, which is where he doesn't back down when it comes to, like, that most Democrats would panic over. That story about trans people coming to the Capitol, the state Capitol, and him, like, taking photos with them, like the Satanist trans people or whatever, like, his response to that was beautiful. Okay. That energy is what is needed in the Democratic Party. Like, this is not a joke. Andy Bashar won twice in a very red state and campaigned on abortion rights while standing up for trans rights. He's perfect for this year and would be a great contrast to Trump and Vance. Okay. That is the Lion of Kentucky right there, folks. I'm telling you right now. Look at his fucking family. First of all, god damn, dude. They are so fucking white. It's like a flashbang. When you click on this photo, it's like it blinded half of my Zoomer audience.
So interesting.
Governor Bashar on his re-election and vetoing anti-trans bills. All children are children of God. I was going to stand up for the most marginalized children who didn't deserve either a state legislature or an entire campaign picking on them.
In a lot of ways. But one of the issues that came up was, of course, trans rights. I mean, you did not hesitate to veto a sweeping anti-trans bill passed by the Kentucky state legislature. But your opponents still kind of came after. They also, because of that, probably came after you on that. It didn't work. What does that tell you about the effectiveness of this kind of an attack and, this approach from a lot of Republicans out there?
Well, all children are children of God. That's what my faith teaches me, and I was going to stand up especially for the most marginalized children that didn't deserve either a state legislature or an entire campaign and all these super PACs picking on them. These are individuals that are already at the margins. The studies show suffer more mental health issues, are more at risk for suicide. We ought to be in the suicide prevention business and not further harming kids who are going through too much. I did it because it was the right thing, but I will say that the way these super PACs and
I'm so fucking pilled on him, dude. It's not even, it's just, he's such a goated pick. He is so fucking good. And it was that story. It was the story where one of those fucking freaks in his own state legislature that came out and was like, how dare you take a photo with them trans pedophiles? And he just straight up was like, those are Kentuckians, okay? Those are fucking people from the state. Those are my people. They came to the state, and I'm not going to apologize for taking a photo with them, and I would do that every fucking day, okay? And he also demanded that the state legislator apologize to every fucking person that he took a photo with. Yeah. Governor's photo with drag queens stirs controversy in Kentucky. The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, an activist drag troupe, said the controversy has helped further their goal of passing a statewide non-discrimination law. Okay? Kentucky Governor Andy Bashar, a Democrat, made history last week when he became the first governor in a state to appear at a rally for a Louisville-based fairness campaign, upholding a campaign promise to support LGBTQ rights. Each year since 1999, when Kentucky's first ever non-discrimination ordinances were passed into law, the City Council of Louisville and Lexington, the Fairness Campaign has lobbied lawmakers much to make such discrimination illegal statewide. Shouldn't we be picking someone who supports policies that would create long-term power for the labor movement and the left in general? What's his record on pushing organized labor power? For example, Pritzker got there. Oh, dude, that's no. Pritzker is a phenomenal pick. You're absolutely right on that. I'm just saying, I really like him. I really like his energy. Like, for example, Pritzker got the right to collective bargaining in the Illinois Constitution. Social issues are important, but I don't think this is quite enough for me. I think that as the VP pick, like, it seems like Kamala Harris, at least in her track record, is like going to be as pro-labor as Biden, which I would say is like fairly pro-labor, if we're being honest, and perhaps even more pro-labor than Biden. Like, there is no indication to me that Kamala Harris is going to be anti-union or anti-labor in a way that, like, separates her from Joe Biden. Shapiro's fucking terrible. Yes, we agree on that. The VP pick is going to be where the party goes next. Seems like we want the most left-wing person we can get, in my opinion. I agree. I love Pritzker. I would love a big boy ticket. The other reason why I really like Bashir or Bashar, whatever, however you fucking say it, he's decent, I think, on labor. But beyond that, he dismantled the charter school efforts in Kentucky as governor and openly stood on business on that front as well. And like, Pritzker is, one, a billionaire. I like him a lot. He's very likable. His instincts are good. And I think more importantly, my turning moment on Pritzker was when he like tweeted that pro-trans thing that was like really goofy, but it was like obviously a bad thing to tweet. But it was so obvious that his heart was in the right place. Like it's so obvious to me that he is like the type of person that is like genuinely earnest and is not like a political machine person. However, he's in Illinois. The reason why I like Bashar is that Kentucky is deep red and he fucking sticks it to the Republicans. Like, maybe I'm being too much of a Democratic Party guy when I say this, but I think one of the things that I absolutely despise, okay? Oh, it was this tweet. Yes, you found it. As a protest against Trump's rescinding protections for trans kids, everyone should use the other gender's bathroom today. Hashtag protect trans kids. Like, that's such a stupid thing to fucking tweet out, but it's like so obvious that this was not focus grouped, polled, and tested, right? He fired that off himself, okay? That's a genuine take. And I get the spirit of the take. I get the energy that he placed on it, and I like it, okay? So I was not being literal, but I think today and every day we should be standing up for all our kids. Hashtag resist Trump. So one of the reasons why I really like Bashar, I'm going to keep calling him Bashar. Please stop yelling at me. One of the reasons why I really like him is because like I said, one of the aspects that's lost in the Democratic Party and rarely ever occurs is a red state Democrat, or any kind of Democrat really, that sticks it to the Republicans, but especially a red state Democrat, okay? Red state Democrats are propped up for being ideologically fluid, and I hate that. I hate that. I despise that to the bottom of my fucking soul. I despise it. It's cowardly. It's bad. It's not a good idea at all, and I fucking despise it. He does not do that, and I think that's really fucking important. I just do not trust Southern Democrats. They're usually anti-labor. I don't think Bashar is anti-labor. Let's see. I mean, he backed the UAW strike. He went to the picket line. He went to the picket, I'm pretty sure. Here's a post from him saying, unions are the backbone of our economy, helping our Kentucky workers' lives better. Live better lives through promising careers. It was great to meet with the smart local 110 sheet metal workers to talk about the wins we're seeing and how we can work together to keep building on our progress. Here's how he is with the UAW. Unions have helped build our country and raise the standard of living and quality of life for workers. The fact that he's also anti-fucking anti-charter school is huge. Like that is probably an even bigger indication that he is pro-labor, because we all know that like the real reason for charter schools, aside from segregating schools, is specifically to abolish teachers' unions in this country at a time when you know they're already diminished. As Attorney General, he spoke out against right to work, and he's phenomenally popular, one of the most popular governors, and that's from the Kentucky State AFL-CIO. Like I said, these are the reasons why I am Bashar pilled. Here's the AFL-CIO also writing in 2023 November, if we don't have Bashar back in there, we won't have a firewall anymore. I'm so scared that they're going to go with fucking Pete Buttigieg, though. Now, that's a motherfucker who's not pro-labor, okay? He doesn't have the instinct. He only fights in a way that appeals to liberals. He's just, he is basically our JD Vance. He's got more charisma than JD Vance, but that's not saying much because JD Vance is like a Donald Trump Jr. style pick. Anyway, the line of Louisville, baby. Yeah, that would be fucking terrible. Do you remember on the picket line? He sounded like a strikebreaker spy. I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he's a McKenzie guy. No shot. No fucking shot. Even though he can stand on the side deal that he cut as labor, or not as labor, as transportation secretary with the railroad companies, that the railroad unions were pretty positive on overall. It wasn't the best deal, but it wasn't the best deal, but it definitely wasn't bad. And it was, broadly popular by the railroad unions. He could say that, but even then, I don't trust him at all. If he didn't have a hostile supermajority in Kentucky legislature, do you think he'd be as gung-ho about his leftist policies? That's actually an interesting question. I think yes, because why would he be gung-ho right now about his leftist policies with a fucking incredibly hostile, with an incredibly hostile red supermajority? He's the governor. He can just be like, well, my hands are tied. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if he thought personally that like there is a good reason for him to be, kind of wishy-washy on a lot of these like leftist policies, he could so easily just say, well, my hands are tied. Look at what I'm working with. You know what I mean? Comes from a politically progressive Democrat family. Father was a governor of Kentucky as we transitioned into a red state. Anyway, we're gonna cover him talking about JD Vance in a second. I'm kind of jumping over things that I wanted to get to in a timely manner because I just got, I'm a fan of this man. Like, as far as I've seen, he seems like a really, really solid choice. Okay. Pete is a great choice. No, he's not. You just saw one fucking tweet and you're going along with it. If President Biden drops out, this is our best ticket. Kamala Harris, a career prosecutor versus convicted felon, a Midwestern mayor and Secretary of Transportation who's created hundreds of thousands of blue-collar jobs versus a Midwestern first-term senator who's done nothing. No. Bashar absolutely destroys Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg doesn't read as like a fucking Midwesterner anyway. He reads in the same exact way that JD Vance reads, a liberal institutionalist. Anyway, like, I don't even care. Like, people will say, oh, well, also Pete's gay. And there's already a woman, a black and Indian woman on the ticket. So we need like a heterosexual white guy, like a really white guy, right? That's not even a thing for Pete, I don't think. Pete doesn't even read as gay. Let's be real. I mean, they'll say like homophobic shit to him, but like that's not even a question. Criticisms of Pete Buttigieg come from the fact that even from like a vibes-based attitude, I think he reads as like a smug liberal. He doesn't have like he doesn't have like good retail politician instincts at all. Biden, at least at his best, was a solid retail politics guy. He's not very good at that. He's too much of a well-read, oralist, rizless, annoying, smarmy Democrat. Yeah, he's bland and irritating. Like, Pete Buttigieg would never tweet about how because of our interest in protecting trans people, everyone should go use the the opposite gender's bathroom today. He would never do such a thing. Okay. He's exactly the type of dude who fucking focus groups every single goddamn tweet and message. He's got a focus group happening in the back of his fucking mind at all times. He's a McKinsey guy. Anyway, but yeah, he's pro-union. He's spoken out against right to work. He's eviscerated charter schools in his state. He's goated.
My opponent went about their campaign was just mean.
PA Governor Shapiro, fuck no.
And it was gross and it was cruel. And people don't like that. That is not who we are. And this ought to be a message that you can't scapegoat people just to get folks angry. And it's wrong, right? Think about what some people are doing, trying to dehumanize other human beings, trying to turn people against each other, to even...
Like, my dream would be something between Gretchen Whitmer, J.B. Pritzker, and Bashar. I think like those three are pretty solid. Obviously, I wouldn't go with Kamala Harris. Like, she's not my fucking top pick for this at all. But Kamala Harris is going to be the nominee. You know what I mean? She's going to be the nominee for the Democratic Party. So, and Gretchen Whitmer is not running for VP. And I don't even think she'd be good on the VP slot for this ticket in general. Anyway, let's
foster
continue.
Hate and anger towards another American here, another Kentuckian. Why? So you can elect one more person that has a certain letter behind their name. Listen, this can't be right and left. Some things have to be basic right and wrong, and we've got to get our politics back to where we ask the basic question of right and wrong. There's got to be limits. I mean, this can't be a ruleless type of game because it's so much more than a game. Ask any of these kids.
This is him talking about running on and winning on a pro-trans message in Kentucky. Okay. And like in 2023, he was voted as one of the most popular governors in the fucking country. Okay. He was really popular in 2020. No, no. I mean, he was more popular than Kamala Harris, but not exactly popular. No. Anyway, who do you think is the most likely VP pick? I do think Bashar would be best, but I think we're gonna get Buttigieg. I hope not. Anyway, let's get back to the stories first, and then I'll talk more about the VP slots.
Said he will address the nation in the coming days. We wait to see what he has to say there. And the work of governing continues because both the president and the vice president are scheduled to have separate meetings with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu later this week in Washington. And guys, consider the enormity of this decision. 2024 is now set to be the first presidential election since 1976 without a candidate named Bush, Clinton, or Biden on the ballot. Tony?
It is a new era, Ed. Thank you very much.
Hasn't it even been 24 hours since President Biden made that decision that no sitting president has ever made, dropping out of the race this close to Election Day with less than a month to go until the DNC?
And in an open convention, the delegates would be the true deciders. This is the first time in more than 5 decades where the delegates are all free to vote as they choose and have the final say.
It was already the most unusual race in American history. Between two former presidents, one a convicted felon who tried to overturn an election he lost, then survived an assassination attempt. And now Biden is the first incumbent since Lyndon Johnson 56 years ago to give up a chance for a second term. President Biden and dozens of Democratic lawmakers have endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. She's the frontrunner for the nomination, but with the convention less than a month away, a fight for the nomination is still possible. We have team coverage. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce starts us off. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, this decision was always Joe Biden's to make and his alone, but ultimately the pressure was just too much to bear. The president now giving up the job he spent a lifetime working towards. And now this
Not a history buff. Why did LBJ bail? Because his dick was too big. No, it was Vietnam.
morning, all eyes are right here on Vice President Kamala Harris. We are outside of her residence at the Naval Observatory. We will get our first glimpse of her later this morning after a whirlwind 24 hours that catapulted Kamala Harris from the vice president to potentially the top of the ticket. 24 days.
Wouldn't Josh Shapiro be the best pick strategically for winning Pennsylvania? Yes, but I don't think Shapiro's is good. Like, I am ideologically opposed to Shapiro. I think that he is, I think that he's too conservative overall. We'll get to that. Stop asking me questions about VP slots. We'll get to that.
After his disastrous debate performance, with the relentless pressure from his own party only growing, President Biden abandoning his bid for a second term. Writing to his fellow Americans, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." The announcement, a political earthquake, one that surprised even his own campaign and White House staff. It took Biden more than 3 weeks to get to this point. In the days after the debate, he was defiant.
I am running and going to win again. I am all in. My word, I am all in.
Biden insisting in an interview with George that nothing short of divine intervention could make him leave this race.
If the Lord Almighty came down and said, Joe, get out of the race, I get out of the race, the Lord Almighty's not coming down.
Yeah, hubris. Can't do it. Hubris. Told you. Can't do it, bro. That's hubris, baby. You can't be out here fucking talking like that. It's the same type of hubris that I demonstrated at the top of the hour when I forget to run a 3-minute ad break. Okay? And I'm like, oh, I already served it. I must have served it. I didn't. I failed to. It's because I used that chatter coming in here as a jump off point 10 minutes prior to the fucking top of the hour. And then I forgot to run it. So I'm running it now. Super late. 20 minutes into the top of the hour. There's still a 3-minute ad break coming for you, however. And Lord Almighty is not going to save you from seeing the top of the hour ad break. The only thing that can save you is $6 to subscribe, or a free subscription in the form of a Twitch Prime. You can also pray to Lord Almighty that you get a gifted sub. Maybe that's the way to do it. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. We beat Medicare Flucky, thank you for the 10 tier 1 gifted subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I agree that the Lord Almighty is not going to come down, but if you are told reliably from your allies, from your friends and supporters in the Democratic
I'm sad that Biden dropped out right as your impression was rocketing in hilarity. Yeah, I mean, it took some time. I can't do a Kamala Harris too, so we'll see.
Party in the House and the Senate, that they're concerned you're going to lose the House and the Senate if you stay in. What will you do?
I'm not going to answer that question. It's not going to happen.
The pressure only grew. The top Democrats in Congress, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, telling Biden to his face the party was concerned he would lose the election and take Democrats down with him.
Scott, maybe Muhammad and his 6-year-old wife could save us. Brother, what do you think happened to Jesus Christ? Like, how old was Jesus' mom? CEO of Reddit, yeah. Oh, Jesus, yeah. I love being like, yeah, you know who are the pedophiles? The Prophet Muhammad, dude. In a country where, like, the Catholic Church is just melting children, okay? In a nation where right-wing Christian fascists are routinely advocating to protect child brides, okay? If this was a overwhelmingly Muslim nation where, you know, clerics, imams were advocating for those things, you'd catch me with the same level of fucking smoke. But it's a wild fucking thing to point to. Like, maybe focus your attention on what's happening here, okay? Just saying.
Him in November. The powerful former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, sharing a similar message. And even though Biden insisted he was firmly in the race, she went on TV and called it an open question.
It's up to the president to decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short.
In the end, 40 Democratic lawmakers came out against the president.
I do not think he is the best person to go into this election. I think if he is our nominee, I think we lose.
Then another blow. Biden forced off the trail by a COVID diagnosis, isolating at his beach house in Delaware, reckoning with his political reality. Huddled with just his closest advisors and family, sources tell us Saturday night the president began to come to his decision. Sunday morning, he started making calls, letting the vice president know of his decision. Sources say the two of them speaking several times throughout the day. Then at 1:45, the president alerting his staff on a call, and just 1 minute later, releasing his letter to the world. First Lady Jill Biden forwarding her husband's announcement with a heart. Her office telling us she was supportive of whatever road he chose. She's his biggest believer, champion, and always on his side. And from the president's son, Hunter, an emotional statement. For my entire life, I've looked at my dad in awe. How could he suffer so much heartache and yet give so much of whatever
Bro, half of his heartache currently comes from you, by the way. How could he suffer so much heartache? Bitch, you're responsible for like a big chunk of it. You know what I mean? Like, you're personally, I know he's like thinking in his mind, like, oh, his, children died, his wife died, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, dog, it's you. Like, you're the reason for the heartache now. Okay.
remained of his heart to others. I'm so lucky every night to get to tell him I love.
The Mary counter you just did was so effective. It was like what you did to Will when he proposed to you at Gay Disney. Yeah.
Of him and to thank him. I ask all Americans to join me tonight in doing the same. Praise for the president pouring in.
He's grounded in his faith, in his family, and in our state. Excuse me.
That was, again, illegal. Okay, flag on the play. You can't be caught dead on national television, dead to rights with this level of glaze. Okay, actually illegal. Illegal move, a violation. Okay, you do not get the touchdown. Nope. You can't be crying on national television for an 800-year-old demon who was too spiteful to fucking drop out. Get out of here. Van Jones and this fucking dummy are cooked. Lock him up.
I'm sorry. This was a very difficult decision. and one that I think reflects the very best of who Joe Biden is.
Pelosi calling him a patriotic American who has always put our country first and one of the most consequential presidents in American history. Those words echoed by former President Barack Obama, who called Biden one of America's most consequential presidents, as well as a dear friend and partner to me, and a patriot of the highest order. With the political shock still setting in, President Biden wasting no time in endorsing his Vice President Kamala Harris to take his place atop the ticket, calling picking her the best decision I've made, and urging Democrats to come together and beat Trump.
Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it?
Harris, who's been hitting the trail hard in recent weeks, praising Biden for making the difficult decision. Writing, with this selfless and patriotic act, President Biden is doing what he has done throughout his life of service, putting the American people and our country above everything else. Then making clear
Biden should be celebrated. Not many could do this. I think you're also wrong on that front. I think Republicans would do this as well. Like Mitch McConnell is kind of doing this for his seat. Like, it's just Trump wouldn't do this, right? And I think that's the reason why a lot of people are now. Trump would never do this in a million years. Okay, Trump would never do this in a million years. And I think that is like what has become normalized in American politics now. So our expectations, like the bar is so low that we're like, oh, dude, you know, no one would ever do this. Like I saw some tweets about like no Republican would ever do this. Like that's not true. They would. They absolutely would. And Democrats should do this more often, but they don't. But any party that is competent and wants to fucking win or wants to present the best possible option should do this. Ruth Bader Ginsburg didn't do it. Dianne Feinstein didn't do it because, you know, Democrats are annoying. But I would say that Republicans are more likely to do this than Democrats are, even though Democrats historically have done it.
clear she's all in, saying my intention is to earn and win this nomination. We have 107 days until Election Day. Together, we will fight, and together, we will win. This morning, many top party leaders now swiftly rallying around Harris as she's working the phones, reaching out to key Democrats. Bill and Hillary Clinton writing, now is the time to support Kamala Harris and fight with everything we've got to elect her. America's future depends on it. Harris also securing endorsements from key constituencies, including the Congressional Black Caucus, and several key governors like Gavin Newsom of California, Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, and Roy Cooper of North Carolina, all lining up behind her. The Biden campaign this morning now full steam ahead for Harris, even filing the paperwork. The campaign now officially Harris.
It killed Hillary to endorse Kamala. Is so funny because, like, I don't even think she personally officially did it from her account. I think they did it from Bill's account, right? Am I wrong? She might have actually personally done it too, but like, I think it was Bill Clinton that actually posted it and said, like, me and Hillary. She just retweeted it. Oh, okay. Oh, it's so good. Oh, she has tweeted since. Oh, on fire. Fingertips on fire. Wait, and even here, she doesn't even mention. Even here, she doesn't mention Kamala Harris. She can't even do it. She can't get herself to do it. She won't say her name, bro. Oh, you know, she's like, when we elect our first woman president, could be me. Oh, my God. She's like, yeah, sure. I'll leave it out. I'll leave it out in the... She's going to contest. Nah, she's not. She's already endorsed her. I'm just saying she's endorsed Kamala Harris alongside her husband. But I do really like the idea that, you know, she's just upset every time she's posting about it.
For president.
And there is no question right now, Vice President Kamala Harris is the front runner in this race. She could become the first black woman, the first Asian American to top a ticket. We will see her later this morning at an event at the White House, and we do expect her to be back on the trail soon. The president will also, we expect, come before cameras in the coming days and explain for himself this remarkable decision to the American people, George.
Mary Bruce, thanks very much.
Let's listen in.
I want to thank you for all you do to support these extraordinary student athletes. And it is good to be here with so many leaders, including, of course, members of Congress, members of our administration, and our extraordinary athletes. Our president, Joe Biden, wanted to be here today. He is feeling much better and recovering fast, and he looks forward to getting back on the road.
Bro, she sped up. Yo, they took her off the fucking bars. I'm not even kidding. Oh my Lord. I swear to God, she got like a fucking 1.25x speed boost. Oh, thank the Lord, dude. I was worried that she was gonna keep that wine mom energy.
And I wanted to say a few words about our president. Joe Biden's legacy of accomplishment over the past 3 years is unmatched in modern history. In one term, he has already, yes, you may clap. In one term, he has already surpassed the legacy of most presidents who have served 2 terms in office. And I first came to know President Biden through his son, Beau. We worked together as attorneys general in our states, and back then, Beau would often tell me stories about his dad. He would talk about the kind of father and the kind of man that Joe Biden is. The qualities that Beau revered in his father are the same qualities that I have seen every day in our president. His honesty, his integrity, his commitment to his faith and his family, his big heart, and his love, deep love of our country. And I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
Heard from the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. I just want to point out that the Vice President will be heading to Wilmington, Delaware later this afternoon to meet with campaign staff there on the first, what they're describing, the first full day of her presidential campaign. That, according to updated guidance that we're just getting in from her office and a social media post on X, formerly known as Twitter right now. Kayla Tausche is our White House correspondent. Kayla, give us a sense of what's going on right now, what we should anticipate.
I took a screenshot because I'm trying to post on the JD Vance tweet. I'm trying to quote tweet it and be like, this man has never tasted the sweet nectar. Phony ass fake yokel, dude. JD Vance is fake as fuck, dude. He is not a real one, okay? He is not a fucking real one. He is not a real Mountain Dew boy like I am. I'm a Dew boy, and I know a real Dew boy when I see it, okay? Can I say fake ass yokel? Does that work? This fake ass yokel has never tasted the sweet nectar that is Diet Mountain Dew.
Well, they say it's racist to do anything.
Bitch, I hate this. Baja Blast Zero's better? No, it's not.
I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that racist too, but it's good.
Like, that's the first time he's at a Diet Mountain Dew. Like, get the fuck out of here. You're so fucking fake, dude. You are such a fake one. He literally is like, he is the most fake Ohio motherfucker I've ever encountered, dude. Kamala is a cooking YouTuber. Damn, I didn't know that. I didn't know she has like entire YouTube videos cooking. Anyway, no. I think the OG Diet Mountain Dew is the best one. Zero's fine. I like Diet Baja, but nowhere near as much as I like some of the other special ones. I can give you guys a full fucking tier list one day if you want. I obviously am like I order specialty like regional Diet Mountain Dews with crates. Like, I have an entire fucking crate load of Diet Mountain Dew in my fucking kitchen right now. I've tried the Code Red. It's not my favorite. You guys know I'm a real one when it comes to fucking. I don't fuck around with my sodas. Like I'm a real do boy, all the way. No, I am importing Mountain Dew. Yes, from like California doesn't have all the different soda flavors that I want, so I literally will. I literally will import them into the state of California. Where do I order from? Amazon. I've tried like there's a really good one. The watermelon one is really good. I actually really like it. I haven't been able to find new ones of that. Like I haven't been able to order more crates of that one. Major Melon, Diet Major Melon, excellent. I'm so fucking hog coded on that front. Like I got 2 towers of Zins behind me and I fucking love Diet Mountain Dew. This is your worst take yet? Sorry, I'm a real American, dude. Sorry that you're facing a red-blooded American for the first time in your goddamn lives, okay? Sorry. Sorry, not sorry, actually. Hey, fuck this politics shit. Give me that zero sugar diet soda tier list. The OG Diet Mountain Dew has excessive amounts of yellow 5 and is banned in the EU for being dangerous for your health or your sperm. I noticed my robes were substantially thicker. Yeah, I don't care, bro. Great. It's like birth control. Awesome. I'm a fan. Say less. I ain't trying to have a child anytime soon. You know what I mean? Oh, the Spark flavors are pretty good too. I have tried the Spark flavors. Those are pretty good as well. Also, I'm sorry, but like the EU doesn't have yellow 5. Like, okay, sorry that the American Constitution is much stronger than the fucking inferior EU, the weak EU. Oh man, oh, you can't have a little bit of yellow 5, dude? Yeah, I'm good. I'll keep my chemicals, okay? Anyway, let's continue.
In the coming hours and the next few days.
Well, Vice President Harris has made it clear that she is going to seize the reins of this moment and of this campaign, traveling to Wilmington, as you just mentioned, later this afternoon to try to rally the troops for the 105 days to go, this home stretch of the campaign, where in the last 4 weeks, Harris and her party have become something of underdogs, to use a sports metaphor, as the vice president addresses this audience of athletes. She used these remarks to praise the leadership of President Biden and the accomplishments that he has notched in the last 3 years, and thanking him and the First Lady for the opportunity to be here at this event today, but using some broad language, talking about going for the gold, being a winner, and being supported by a team. It's hard not to sense the metaphors and some of the parallels in what she was saying as she embarks on this journey of her own to try to retake the narrative for the Democratic Party and trying to rally members of the party nationwide and to galvanize.
What is this? My girl drinks Diet Mountain Dew at 8 p.m. every day as birth control. Respect. That's a keeper. There was another guy that said, I love Diet Mountain Dew, and my girlfriend says it's her biggest ick. She said watching me drink it is like watching me smoke cigs. What do I tell her? Smoking cigarettes looks very cool. You should probably look for a new girlfriend. So.
Voters behind her candidacy, Wolf.
Very interesting. We'll see what happens when she's in Wilmington, Delaware. Maria Cardona, it jumps out at me, and I'm sure a lot of other people. She would be the first woman president of the United States if, in fact, she's elected. President Hillary Clinton tried that, didn't work out for her, but this would be a huge, huge moment in American history.
Huge moment, Wolf. But she wouldn't just be the first woman. She'd be the first woman of color, black woman of Asian descent, daughter of immigrants. So many glass ceilings would be just shattered if she makes it. But I also notice this amazing parallel between the event that she's doing now, telling those athletes that they are about to embark on the competition of their life, the ones that are going to the Olympics. She's about to embark on the competition of her life. And that competition is going to be tough. It's going to be something that none of us have ever seen before. They are going to attack her like no other woman in that position has ever been attacked, because there's really been no other woman doing what she's about to do. The other side is going to lie, cheat, and steal. They are going to otherize her, and she's going to need the team of her life as well around her, because when she brings home the gold, it's not going to be just for her. It's going to be for the American people who are looking to her, to the Democrats, to somebody to make sure that we keep our democracy sacred, that we continue to fight for the families that have been given so much with the accomplishments that she just underscored for her and what Joe Biden have been able to accomplish.
Joe Biden first came onto the national stage.
Oh my God. So libbed up. I mean, yeah, they're libbed the fuck up, dude. They are libbed the absolute fuck up. Dumb DNC gonna put up